I'm Ingrid Campbell. And Cara, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi everybody, I'm Cara Murphy. Should we, let's do our stories, just a short little story about how you stuff, because I think that we don't do that often enough. Sound good?
Sure. You want me to go first?
Yes.
Okay, so I started with It Works in March 2013. I was working full-time as a biologist at the time, and I just wanted a way to stay home with my kids. So my sister just started, Cara, had just started her It Works business, and so I decided to try mine as well. And after a year, I was Diamond, and I was able to stay home with my kids, and one more year, I was Ambassador. So this has been a really, really crazy ride, and we're having a lot of fun with it. And my husband and I are both able to stay at home now. So hopefully we're going to give you some good tips on charting tonight on how to get to Ruby. So that's my story. Let Cara take it away.
Woohoo! Yeah, so we both started pretty much the same time. I started in March 2013 and found Missy, my enroller, online, and just decided to go for it. I had never done anything like this before. Signed up in the middle of the night, and the next morning I was like, what have I done? I can't believe that I've signed up for this company that I know nothing about. I feel so grateful that I got lucky and I chose the right one. I really, I had not done my research, and now that I know about our product and about our company and about the people in it, I'm so, so grateful. I went Diamond in 5 months, and I then promoted to Double Diamond, Triple Diamond, and Presidential the next spring, so about a year later. And what we're going to talk about today has a lot to do with how I think my sister and I have promoted and what we try to teach all of our team to do, and that's to keep really good charts. Your charts help you stay organized, and they help you stay motivated, and they also help you teach your downline and help them stay organized and motivated. So you want me to start, and then Ingrid, if I leave stuff out, fill in what you think that I haven't said.
Sure. And, yeah, go for it.
So I printed off, well, I already had my Steps to Success. I have a whole bunch of these that I keep with me. These are in your eSuite under Documents. In your, I think you can just search for Success or Steps, and it'll pop up. So basically, you're going to look for 4 customers a month, and then you're going to get your 3 distributors, and you're going to help one of those distributors get 2, and you're going Ruby. I like to just have this on a Ruby chart. So somebody who is brand new can go and print out a chart like this. I laminate mine so that I can use dry erase markers on them. It's super, super helpful. And what I do is I go ahead and I write down on the column here, I make lines for each of my 4 loyal customers, okay? I also, especially for my new distributors, I put their start date, and because we have a $500 Ruby bonus on the table right now, I put, you need to go Ruby by, okay? And so somebody who started today, they need to be Ruby by September 31st. And so I make sure that that's on their chart, so it's real easy for them to see and me to remember. And then for their customers, if they started July 2nd, I know that they need to get those 4 loyal customers by August 2nd. And they also need to run their 80 BV auto ship to be commission qualified, okay? These are all things that you can ask your enroller if this is all foreign to you. But then you have that chart right in front of you, and you know this is what I need to start accomplishing to get that bonus, and you have your dates and everything in front of you. So, Ingrid, anything on that
Sorry, I had to unmute myself. No, that's looking great so far. And a lot of people, we look at those charts so much, but if you're just starting out, the boxes in those charts, each box is a distributor. So customers are not shown on that chart. So you want to write your distributors in those boxes under you. So some people just don't realize that right off the bat.
In fact, I'll fill one out right here. So I have a distributor named Candace, and she's doing awesome. And she's already filled out customers in each of these lines. And then she has her sister and a woman named Maria who has joined her so far in the business. And so just showing her this, it's real easy for Candace to then say, okay, I know my sister has a friend who wants to sign up as a distributor, so she could go here. You know, just having this visual is really, really helpful for her, and she knows what she needs to accomplish. I will even talk to her about dates. So if Candace needs to go Ruby by September 31st, then our goal is to fill these boxes with distributors by the end of this month, okay, by the end of July, so that she has all of August and September to help everybody build their own teams and get their customers. It's super important. Something else I wanted to talk about while we're talking about new people, super, super exciting, is our cruise. And I wrote down, is this showing up the right way on your screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so it looks backwards on mine.
No, it's good.
So, good. So our cruise, make sure you understand how you get points for this cruise in December, because this is the first time that we've ever done this, and it's really exciting. So I don't know what that was. Somebody was calling. So new loyal customers that you enroll, that's 100 points towards this cruise. New distributors, 300 points towards the cruise. When your distributor gets 4 loyal customers, that's 500 points for each of you, both the enroller and the distributor who got those customers. And then when your distributor goes Ruby, that's 2,500 points for each of you. So if you look at this chart that Candace is working on, she is getting 100 points for each of these customers that go toward her cruise. She's getting 300 points on enrolling her sister, and I actually enrolled Maria, so that's 300 points for me. But then when Candace goes Ruby, then she's going to get 2,500 points, and so am I. So super important to remember how you get these points. And that's why it works with doing this. That's why corporate is doing this cruise, is so that we can really understand how important it is to chart to Ruby and build these rubies, because it only takes 3 rubies to go diamond. And that, I think, is the foundation for your entire business.
And I think something that you just kind of touched on, you know, Cara enrolled someone and put them under Candace. So say Candace enrolls 2 more distributors, she's probably going to put 1 on her top line, and then 1 she can put under her sister, so that she gets to Ruby quicker than if she just keeps everyone on her top line under. And that's a strategy that some of us use that helps you get promoted quicker and ultimately make more money. So that's something that you can talk with your upline about when you get there, but that is something that you can do. Move distributors anywhere in your chart. You have 24 hours once they enroll to do that.
All right. So I'm just going to hold up a diamond chart just so you can see the 3 rubies and why it's so important to understand how to build a ruby. We have a ruby here, we have a ruby here, and we have a ruby here, okay? That's why we have our steps to success. That's why we have our $500 ruby bonus. That's why we have our cruise, and you get the most points for building rubies, because the company wants you to understand that this is how you get to diamond. And once you get to diamond, Mark says it's basically your license to print money. This is when you start making the big bucks. So super important to know how to do this. So Ingrid, I don't know if we have anybody on or if anyone has questions about charting.
Yeah, I mean, there's no questions so far, but I do have the Q&A thing up. So if those of you that are on Google Hangout, you can ask questions just on Google Hangout. Those of you that are watching on YouTube, you can comment on the YouTube video and ask your question. So if you have any questions, please do that. But we don't have any yet.
I also have, if for those of you who aren't figuring out how to do it on your computer, you can text questions. My phone number is 435-901-3877. 435-901-3877. Maybe I'll write it down and put it up. Because I'm not going to go very in-depth. If nobody has questions, I'm going to leave this as more of a beginner video, unless Ingrid wants to make it a little more advanced, but that's my phone number. So we're happy to answer more in-depth charting questions.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just looking for questions on the YouTube here.
Oh, no problem. Something else, you know, so I bypassed right over the top of the executive chart, and that's because I really want people to focus on Ruby. But if you look, when Candace is talking to her sister, she has the option. She can chart her sister to executive, or she can just go big and start charting her sister to Ruby, just like I've done for Candace. So don't forget to print off your executive chart too, because some people need to start a little bit smaller and see this smaller picture. You know, you could basically say, for me, for example, this was my sister, and then all I had to do was look for one more distributor and start teaching them how to get customers and build that volume, and I could go executive.
Oh, okay, we have a question. Let's see. Okay, so the question is, can you please show the cruise chart again? And this info is all available in your eSuite under Document Library, and I think it's also right when you log in. There's a bunch of information there, and there's stuff about the cruise. So if you need to know, that's where it is, but let's show that one more time.
And I will say, it is so important for you guys to go to your eSuite and read the rules. It's not our job to tell you the rules. It's not your upline's job to tell you the rules. It's your job to go in and make sure you are reading these rules. So for every new loyal customer you enroll and you personally keep under yourself, you do not move them to a downline distributor, you will get 100 points. For every new distributor you enroll, you get 300 points, and you can move them anywhere you want in your chart. So again, I told you that I put Maria under Candace. I keep the 300 points for Maria. Candace does not, okay? Because when you enroll a distributor, they stay enrolled by you no matter where you put them. Your distributor gets 4 loyal customers, okay? So when they do that, you both get 500 points, okay? So why does It Works do this for you? Because we want you to teach your new distributors how to get that, you know, get that 120 in product credit and get those 4 loyal customers, okay? These 4 loyal customers need to have different addresses from each other and the distributor. You know, you can't sign up your husband and your sister and everybody lives at the same address. These need to be eligible loyal customers. So make sure, again, that you read your rules regarding that. And then finally, when your distributor goes Ruby, you get 2,500 points, and so does your distributor. It does not matter if she personally enrolled her entire team or if you personally enrolled her entire team. She just needs to hit Ruby rank within her first 2 calendar months. Okay, so hopefully that made sense.
Okay, yeah. So we have a couple more questions. Someone asked on YouTube. So again, you guys can ask, you can reply on the YouTube video if that's where you're watching, or you can ask a question on the Q&A on the Google Hangout. But someone asked how long it took us to get to Ruby, and she's having trouble. She started in April, and she's charted to Ruby, but having trouble with volume. It took me a really long time. Like, I barely got 2 customers in my first 30 days, and I did not get to Ruby in my first 2 months. It took me probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 months. I can't really remember. I didn't get to Diamond for an entire year. So I think what's really important to remember is if you don't make these bonuses, you know, if you miss the Ruby bonus, it's just not the end of the world. There's always another bonus to go for. And the good bonus, the $10,000 bonus for Diamond, is almost always available. They extend it a lot. So you should always be working towards getting to diamond and knowing that you're going to get that $10,000 good bonus. So just be preparing yourself for that, even if it's a year or 2 years after you start. So Cara, I don't know, Cara went a little bit faster than I did though, so she can answer that one too.
You know, here's what I have to say about that. We didn't have the cruise, we didn't have the $500 Ruby bonus, and we're doing just fine. Okay, so you can just assume that we missed those things because they weren't even offered when we started. It does not matter how fast or how slow you move with this. The fact is that you just need to keep moving. I mean, that is the most important thing. I mean, really, think about it. If you take our income chart and you point to the number you want, whether it's, you know, $10,000 or $30,000 a month, does the job you have now outside of It Works or the jobs that you had before, none of those had any hope of ever giving you that amount of money. So if it takes you 2 years to get there or 4 years to get there or 10 years to get there, it's still worth getting there. So you can't let those small things discourage you along the way. I am pretty sure that Missy, our upline, did not get any good bonuses. I will clarify. I'm pretty sure she has not, and she had a $100,000 paycheck last month. So you don't need to hit any of those bonuses, and you can still do just fine. So I have a couple of questions as well. My friend Kuka in California, she's saying, how do you teach your new people to get customers? Right? Is that what you asked me? She sent me like 800 messages here. Yeah. How do you teach them to get loyal customers? So first of all, make sure you have a conversation, preferably on the phone or in person, with your new distributor and figure out who they are and what is going to work best for them. If they've never used a computer in their life and they don't have a smartphone, then teaching them Instagram is not what needs to happen right now, okay? A launch party is what needs to happen right now. I always try to get my brand new distributors to have that launch party within their first week, as soon as their product arrives, and I have them try to get 2 loyal customers within their first 48 hours. They do that by announcing their business, okay? Hopefully they have Facebook or Instagram or something where they can announce it online. If not, they can text their friends, they can call their friends, and basically they're telling their friends and family, I've started this new business, I think that you would like this, you know, and they should have selected a product for each person that they're going to talk to. Okay, don't just say, here's my website, go to it, and I hope you'll be my customer. That's not good enough. I started my new business. We have these amazing products. I have one that I really think that you would love, okay, and this is why. So I have them do that, and then I also tell my distributors, I tell them to text me or Facebook me or however they can get a hold of me. I tell them to message me right away when they have someone who is interested, because then I can help them figure out how to respond. Some of my new distributors just take off right away and they figure this out and they don't need help. But the majority want to know how they should respond, you know, what the price is and what the details about the products are. So what I have them do is I have them copy and paste the message from their friend or family member into a message to me, and then I respond exactly as I would respond normally, and then they cut and paste that back to their friend. And we do that for as long as it takes for them to start feeling comfortable with answering questions. The only other thing is, you know, if I have somebody who is a stylist or who works at a salon, then we talk about how they can sell their products there. Ingrid, how do you get your new distributor started and really help them get their first customers?
Well, no, I think you answered that well. But I was just going to tie this into another question. Someone was asking, is Instagram and Facebook the only way to run your business, and can you do door-to-door? And, you know, that's a really interesting question, because Cara and I make, you know, a lot of training for you all, and I think we're trying to make it easier for you to get going really quickly, but I don't want it to be restricting. So, you know, when Cara and I started, it took us a long time to kind of figure out what works for us. And I want you all to know that it's very important that you try as many different things as you can to see what works for you. Just because it works for us does not mean that it's going to work for you. So it's really important that you know that this is not the only way to run your business. So Blitz cards, you get these in your kit, are very important if you want to run your business, you know, off of social media. These are coupons that you hand out everywhere you go, door to door, I don't care, going to the grocery store, your waiter, your barista. It's a coupon that you give them. And so this is really important if that's how you want to run your business. Very, very important to do. I carry these everywhere I go. They're my business card. So I think what's really important for new distributors starting out is that they just dive into it and figure out what works for them. Do a launch party, carry your Blitz cards, and do social media, and figure out what works for you. So that's how I would answer that question.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's really good advice. And what works for you is, like Ingrid said, it might not be what works for someone else. It just really depends on your personality and where you live and what you have access to. I have a distributor who she's signing up a customer a day, and I said, what are you doing? Because I wanted to see if she was doing anything different than anyone else. And she said a lot of them come from her Blitz cards, and she happens to live or she was in Las Vegas, and she would just walk through casinos, and she would have conversations with people and Blitz pretty much all day long when she wasn't working at her other job. And so she would really rely on the Blitz cards to do most of the work for her. So make sure you have those Blitz cards for sure.
I have quite a few more questions, so just let me know when you're ready for the next one.
Okay, I was going to, Christine Robinson gave us a shout out, and she says she's working hard now on going diamond. And Christine, I loved meeting you, and I can't wait to see you again. I want to say, you know, for those of you who are pushing for diamond, my friend Tiffany, this is what she does. Every Monday, she charts for her team, and she puts in a little bit too much effort. I usually tell the people I'm charting for, I tell them to send me their charts, okay? Especially once they have learned how to chart, then I will message them and I'll say, send me your charts, I want to take a look, let's have a phone call, let's get an action plan going, and let's start. So when you're working on diamond, make sure that every single person in your downline has some ideas about what their goals should be. You know, obviously our steps to success, 4 loyal customers and 3 distributors, is important. But when you've charted somebody and you've said, Candace, look how close you are to Ruby. If your sister signs up a distributor and you can get your 2 friends signed up, your Ruby chart is filled. When you do that for people, it really inspires them and it gets them going and it puts it in a better perspective for them. It doesn't seem so overwhelming when everybody on your team has something that they're working toward. So really break down your diamond team that way. And
Okay, Cara, you froze, so I don't know if that's just on my end.
Oh, there.
Okay. So the next question we have, so do you have 24 hours to move a DT and 48 for a customer? That's a really easy question. You have 24 hours to move a customer or a distributor to somewhere in your downline. 24 hours, that is it. So that's a very important question to know. And then some people are asking about wrap parties. What's your biggest tip for wrap parties and where do you host them? And my answer for that would be, there is so much training for you on parties in the eSuite, and they make it very, very easy and step-by-step, and I would keep it simple. I would keep it easy, step-by-step. Follow the party pad that you get in your kit and follow the training in your eSuite. It does not matter how many people show up. If it's 1, great. If it's 100, great. Either way, be as excited and motivated as you are, you know, as you are into this company. So, and where to have it, that is up to you and up to who is coming. If you have a friend that wants to host it, great. If you want to host it at your home, great. If you want to host it at, you know, a rec center of your community center, great. It's really, there's no right or wrong answer to that, as long as you're out there talking about the products and using the party pad.
It can even be as simple as, I'm coming to your work, I'm going to wrap you during lunch, grab a couple of your friends. Like, that could be a wrap party, okay? Don't make it harder than it needs to be. I just follow the party pad, I let people sample the products, and then my favorite thing to do is, this is the most important thing, is have your customer order forms and your distributor order forms printed out and ready at the end of the party. I walk around and I don't give them a choice. I just say, other than, do you want to be a loyal customer or do you want to be a distributor? Here's a customer order form, here's a distributor order form. Okay? They don't get to walk out of that party without filling out one of those order forms. So that's my biggest party tip is, you know, when you're done with the party pad, that's the time to walk around. Do you want a loyal customer order form or do you want a distributor order form? All right. Do you have another one? Because I have one coming in too.
Sure, I'll just do this one, then we'll go to yours. So the next question is, when should I start replacing distributors on your chart? So that means if you enroll someone in your Ruby chart and they are not working as hard as you'd like, when do you replace them? And I think that's a really hard question. It's really a case-by-case basis. I personally will use people's, you know, if I have a distributor under me that's not getting a lot of customers as fast as I'd like, I will help them by putting customers under them and helping them get to 400 in volume so that I can promote and so that I'm helping them. There is a point where you don't really want to keep doing that, so you can definitely replace them in your chart if you're enrolling enough distributors. But I think that's a really hard question to answer without knowing how many customers and distributors you enroll and the situation of that distributor that's not working. So,
yeah, for sure. You know, somebody asked me that question the other day, and I answered, momentum is everything. So if you are spending all your time replacing people, you have no forward momentum. So sometimes you just need to drag some walkers and some sitters along with you, get your chart filled, and then start replacing people. Like, let's say you're working on Diamond. I think, like Ingrid said, I mean, again, it's hard to tell if you're not at least doing your steps to success every month, it's going to be harder. But if you are doing your steps to success, I say get that Diamond chart filled with distributors and then start going back and replacing people who need to be replaced. But don't sit there and worry about replacing every time somebody takes a little break, because then that's all you'll be doing and you're never going to get that chart filled. So, yeah.
And, you know, a good thing to remember is, so like if you take a Diamond chart, Cara held up that Diamond chart, it's a Ruby and an Emerald. So there's, you know, 25 distributors. There's 25 distributors or so, I don't remember exactly how many, on this chart, but guess what? You need this Emerald person and this Ruby person to be working. That's 2 out of the 25 to be really go-getters working. So I think it's important to remember that even though not everyone works, all you need is a couple. So you will get there eventually, and it doesn't matter how far down that leg that Emerald is, that worker is. So if you just keep working on your chart and working with your upline to know where you need to replace, where where you can keep working with people, that's what's really important. Okay, so Cara, if you want to do your question.
Yeah, the only other thing I'd say about the chart, I like how you said work with your upline. I think it's really helpful to have somebody else's eyes on your chart, giving you some ideas that maybe you don't see. Also, make sure that you're staying balanced. And I don't want to get too advanced, but you know, if you go to your reports in eSuite and look at volume total by distributor, you're going to see your name first, and you're going to see your the distributor under you with the most volume second. That person ideally should be about half your volume. If they're creeping over half of what your volume is, you need to start putting more work into the other parts of your chart. If this doesn't make sense, you're welcome to message me or Ingrid after. But as you grow and as you're replacing people, don't put every How would you talk to a new distributor who works in a salon about selling her products at her salon? That's a huge question. We do have a salon brochure in the Diamond Wrap page that you can kind of look at just to see numbers about, if a salon sells wraps that they have on hand, this is kind of the income that they could expect. If they want to sign people up as loyal customers, here's their option. We have a bunch of stylists. I can think of one right off the top of my head, Pippa. In her salon, she would have at her styling booth, or I don't have the correct terminology, but anyway, at her booth, she would have a framed before and after picture of the body wrap and a framed before and after picture of hair, skin, nails. And then she'd have an empty box of wrap sitting there that, just as a display, and then an empty bottle of the hair, skin, nails as a display, so that she has a captive audience sitting there staring at these things as she cuts their hair. And so, of course, they're going to ask, what are those pictures of, and what are these products? Okay, and that's how she did it at her salon. Of course, you have to, if you're a stylist renting a booth, you have to have permission from the salon owner, but definitely look at that brochure that we have written up, because that's something that you go and you take to the salon owner and you say, you need to be a distributor. Tell the salon owner you need to be a distributor as well. Get everybody at the salon on board. Am I leaving anything out of that?
No, that sounds good. Well, I guess the only thing I can say is, Madra Jones, she's been in the top 5 income earners of our company for a while now. She started in her salon, and she was approached, I think, 5 times by someone and turned them down 5 times before they finally made her put a wrap on. And she realized how awesome that product would be as an add-on service in the salon. And she took off, and she's now one of the top 5 earners. So that's a really, really good place to go as salons.
Yeah, and I remember her also saying she would put an It Works sign on the door. Basically, people would have to trip over this sign when they were coming into the salon. It's like no way they could miss it. So just make sure that you have displays wherever you are allowed to have them so that people will ask questions. All right.
Do you have another question?
I don't. Go ahead.
Okay. So I think I have just one more, and then we'll maybe wrap it up because I don't see any other questions here. But so someone, I think it was Amanda, asked, she on her Instagram, she's at 6,000 followers and not seeing as much interaction as she'd like to. And should she keep going forward with Instagram, or should she try something new? And my answer to that is both. I don't think that it's ever a good idea to kind of put all your eggs in one basket. Always be trying something new, especially if something is not working. For me, Instagram was really, I had to stick with it. I had to be very consistent for a very long time to make it work. But I do realize that for some people, they just don't get the hang of it as easily, and they're just better in person doing parties. So I would definitely say try other things and keep your Instagram going in the background as backup. But for me, I really didn't see success with Instagram until probably 8,000 followers, and I was posting very consistently and following very consistently every day. And the market in Instagram has been getting a little bit flooded. Not to say that it's not there anymore, but you are going to come across a lot of people that have other It Works distributors already advertising to them. So I don't think it's a bad idea to reach out into other social media, Blitz, wrap parties. I think all of those are good options.
Yeah.
Cara, do you have any?
No, I totally agree. I know that Pippa in our 30-day push group put out a great chart about daily activities that you should do to grow your business. And I mean, Ingrid's right. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Make sure that you are really exploring all the different social media and different ways that you can blitz and different ways that you can have parties. And just start growing all of those avenues, because if you're doing it in person, people are going to start knowing your name. They're going to start referring other people to you, and that market is going to start growing. If you slowly start your Pinterest account and your Instagram account and your Facebook account, those are slowly going to start growing and growing and growing. Make sure you watch John Eric's training on Facebook that he did yesterday, because that will give you a lot of tips for Facebook. All right, so I don't have any more questions.
Yeah, I don't either.
Do you have any more coming in?
I just had one more, but I think that's pretty much it. But someone just said, how can you gain more followers on Instagram? They don't have as many as they'd like. And, you know, that's, we go over that a lot. It's, you have to follow people every day. You have to follow new people, and they follow you back. You can also use hashtags on your posts to get more people, but really the main way to get more followers is to follow people and have them follow you back and interact with them, comment and post on pictures and like pictures. It's really that simple. Oh, we're getting some more questions now. Okay, can you give a small list of other ways to blitz? And I actually can give you more than a small list. I can give you 100 ways to blitz, and that's in our Facebook groups in the files tab. Go in there. It's this document called 100 Ways to Blitz, and it's amazing. You need to read it. So I'm just going to direct you to there. But unless, Cara, you want to add anything to that?
No, I think that's great. That's such a great file.
Okay, I think that's it. If you wanted to close with anything, Cara, you had any other questions that came in?
I don't have any more questions. Just leave you guys with a little bit of motivation. I don't even have anything prepared for that. I just want to say, you know, when I started looking at the steps to success, I thought for sure that people must do something different. The ones who are succeeding, they must have, you know, 1,000 customers coming in a month, and you absolutely don't have to have that. I've watched so many people succeed now who just simply work their steps to success. Okay, yeah, of course there's some people who are mass enrollers. That's great for them. That's not everybody. For the rest of us, doing our steps to success, and then the most important thing, teaching your team to do their steps to success by filling out something like this for them and really just showing them that you're there, like helping them reach those goals. I think that's huge. It's huge.
Yep, and I totally agree. When my whole entire first year, getting 4 customers and 3 distributors was like the hardest thing every month. It was so hard for me to do, and it was my goal every single month. Some months I made it, some I didn't. But you really don't have to do more than that. So that's a really, really good point to make. And I've lost my train of thought. I was going to say something else. So I guess that's it. So hopefully this was helpful, everyone. And I'll try and answer any questions on the YouTube page that we missed. But have a good night.
Bye, everybody.